Hi everybody, my name is Jessica. Welcome back to my channel. Please like and subscribe. I wanted to talk to you about my transition. I get a lot of people who want to know how I transitioned so fast, what steps I took, and was it easy? Lots of questions all the time. I actually made a Facebook group yesterday, so just like barely any followers. It's called Trans Support. I'm gonna try to put a link to that also. So I'm not gonna like try to monetize any of this like as far as directly. I'm just trying to figure out how to help people and do it in a way that doesn't, you know, doesn't take up too much time. So I figured maybe I would just make like a how-to video. And I just want to say that I'm not giving medical advice, and also I'm not telling anybody they should transition. I'm just gonna tell you what I did. So step one, I have my phone. Also, I have beautiful nails, but a coworker of mine dropped something on my hand because I have a construction company, and one of my nails fell off. So if you see it, just ignore it. Okay, I have been transitioning for 11 months. I'm 44, almost 45. I've wanted to do this for 20 years. About a year ago, I realized that I had to move forward. However, I was still really scared that maybe I'm making a bad decision because 20 years earlier, I decided that my life would be too hard and I would be too ugly, and I did not move forward. However, a year ago, something changed. I started feeling like I was gonna miss my opportunity. But I didn't want to do something reckless, so I started journaling. I spent only a few weeks journaling. I filled up about 10 pages. I started at the beginning of my life and I went through it. I started writing about any memories I had that might lead me to believe that I was trans, such as experiences in my sister's room, or with, I was really into some girl toys. I wanted to be a witch. I mean, there was a lot of little things, but a lot of big things too. And as I went through my life, being trans seemed to be the through line that made everything else make sense. However, I still didn't know if I wanted to move forward, so I made a pros and cons list. Like, what would be the negatives of transitioning? How could this affect me or my family? How could it make my life so hard? What would be the benefits? Like, would I be happier? Would I be able to manage a lot of unhealthy behaviors that I had? Would I be able to experience life the way I want to? Would I love the way I look, which I do. I love the way I look. I get stuck in the mirror sometimes because I'm just so euphoric. So, a lot of people who transition, a lot of trans women, they experience gender dysphoria because of the way they look and how the world perceives them. I experienced that. However, now I experience a lot of gender euphoria. Like yesterday, I was so happy, and I'm happy a lot. So I'm very, I'm, I consider my transition very successful, and it was the right decision for me. But I can't make that decision for you. I'm just going to tell you what I did. So once I decide, this really was the 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 idea that led me into absolutely know that I was going to move forward. I determined from all my journaling that no matter what, I have to grow old as a woman. That when I'm an old woman, when I'm old, I have to be a woman. And once I realized that that was an indisputable fact about me, something that I needed to happen, then everything else just kind of made sense. I was like, okay, I have to move forward. I want to move forward. We're doing this. So next step was, okay, I had to see a doctor. So I called, so this is step two, is get insurance and find a doctor or however many doctors you need. I didn't have insurance. I went to Florida Marketplace because I live in Florida, and I tried to sign up for Blue Cross Blue Shield. And I couldn't do it right. I needed help, so I went to one of their stores, and there's a partnership with Walmart. So in Florida, you can find Blue Cross Blue Shield or Florida Blue inside a Walmart. It's partially government funded, so it works out good for me. I have a small premium and small deductibles. So I got the insurance and I was like, okay, I have to find a doctor. So I started like trying to Google doctors and I didn't really have any luck. So I had this idea to call Planned Parenthood. So I called Planned Parenthood and they actually were providing gender affirming care, but they changed one of the laws. So temporarily they weren't allowed to do it. They're doing that again. So if you can't get insurance, that might be another avenue to get on hormones. Now, they referred me to two different specialists one was in Orlando and one was in West Palm Beach. So West Palm Beach is closer. So I met my doctor and I love her. She's got 30 years experience and I met with her. She did not require me to have a psychological evaluation. We just talked for a while and she believed that I was trans. And so it was easy for me. In fact, my whole experience was actually pretty easy and I'm fortunate and grateful. I know that might not be the norm for everybody. At this point, okay, so because she's a specialist, she's a gynecologist. Some people go see endocrinologists. That's not what I'm doing. That sort of specialist deals exclusively with hormones, I think. My doctor is just a woman's doctor, but I belong because trans women are women. Like literally. Anyways, I love my doctor and so I had to get a primary doctor. And if you have a primary doctor that is familiar with HRT, they can also prescribe it. My primary doctor actually also does HRT. However, because I was so new, she thought it was a good idea that I keep the appointment that I already made to see my specialist, who, by the way, is a gynecologist. So like my doctor is a gynecologist. It's so cool. When I first went in there, I said, I just want you to know that I don't actually have a vagina. And she was like, oh, we know, honey. It was great. I love it. Okay. So if you don't know anything about hormone replacement therapy, it is normally how somebody who suffers from gender dysphoria or wants to transition for any way, it's the therapy that is suggested. And what you do is you work with a specialist to reconfigure your hormones so that they match a woman my own age. For me, that would be a 44-year-old woman. So most men are around 750, that's their testosterone levels. In order for your body to feminize, you have to bring the testosterone down to about 50 or below and then add estrogen so it resembles like a woman's hormone levels, right? And then your body will actually start doing the work for you. It starts to redistribute fat. You start to get boobs, you start to get more of a butt, the fat starts to go into the right places, your face gets softer, your skin gets softer. For male to female, it doesn't change your voice. I am growing boobs really fast. Probably because big boobs grow. They don't grow in they run in my family. The women in my family typically have big boobs, so I'm lucky on that front. I am a 34B, and I've only been on hormones for just 10 months. And really the significant changes from fat redistribution really start to take off between the first and second year, and then they speed up, and then they max out around 3 to 5 years. So I have a good start. And okay, what else? At the same time, my emotions changed. I became more empathetic, less aggressive. I am able to control my sex drive more. I still have a sex drive and I can function if I want to. I don't really want to do that the way that men do it. That's a different video. But I'm not crazy jacked up on testosterone all the time. So if I'm romantic with somebody, I can get turned on, but I'm not turned on all the time. I used to be when I was a male, when I was a man. When I was a man, testosterone used to run my life, by the way, and it don't do that no more. So that's an added benefit for me. Okay, what is the next step? So if you have questions and they're appropriate, you can find me on TikTok or Instagram and just message me directly. It's either Jessica Rose Bray, or on Instagram, I'm Jessica just trying to figure things out because I am. And okay, so you need your insurance, you need to find your doctor. You might want to start start trying to see if your insurance company will cover like surgeries. Mostly you have to find a doctor who has experience getting insurance companies to cover surgeries. Then you go see them. You have to get a psychological evaluation, and then they go to your insurance company and try to get them to pay for it, because gender affirming care is a medical condition. It's not a mental disorder, but it's a medical condition. So insurance companies will normally pay for part of it. For my breast implants, they're willing to pay for half. I still don't have the $3,000, and I don't have the time to take off right now, but at least I know that they're willing to pay for half. Okay, that brings us to facial hair or body hair. This is step 3. So I don't have a lot of body hair. Again, I'm fortunate, I'm lucky, I'm grateful. I'm serious. But I had a big beard. So I started shaving, and I signed up for a laser hair removal package. That means that I go every 5 weeks, and they zap me, and it hurts, but the hair follicles will start to die. I've had I've had 8 treatments, and it's almost all gone. I still have 40% of hair. I know you can't see anything. I'm really good at covering up now. So what happens is you have these treatments done every 5 weeks, and then your hair starts to lessen, and it gets less and less. After about a year, it's pretty much gone, and then you just have to have treatments every few months, or maybe even once a year, just to maintenance it. I have a package, so I pay every month. After I'm done paying it off, I'm sorry, I have a burp. After I'm done paying it off, then I still have the package for the rest of my life, so I can just go whenever I think that I need a touch up. And after I get my face done, I'm probably going to do my legs and some other areas, like one at a time, because it is expensive. Transitioning can be expensive. That's true. Now, just because these steps are in order, you can do some of these things at the same time. Like, I found my doctor, and I signed up for the laser hair removal at the same time. And it made me feel really good, like I was moving forward. And I was also experimenting with makeup. And that brings us to, so before I move forward, I know that some people are going to have like body hair that's a lot of chest hair, back hair. Girls, I am so sorry, but you're just going to have to deal with it. You're going to have to shave, and if you have money, you're going to have to get laser, maybe even electrolysis. It's more painful. Insurance probably isn't going to pay for it, and it's going to be time consuming. But as years go by and you take care of these issues, you'll get better. You'll feel better. You'll be able to move forward. Lots of people transition at all ages. You cannot let these things stand in your way. If this is for you, if you decide to do this, then do it. Move forward. Figure out a way to pay for it. Get real thick skin. You're going to have to get used to people talking shit, or at least looking at you crazy, but you're going to be a baby trans, and you're going to make this shit happen, okay? Please. Next step, makeup. I was terrible at makeup. Now, also, before we get into the rest of the makeup, you're going to have to learn how to cover up your beard shadow as you're getting that laser hair removal. And what you do is you get orange color corrector or orange lipstick, something orange, and you shave and then you rub that orange shit all over your face. You get some setting spray or some powder, and then you you spray it on there and you let it like harden up. It don't really harden, but you just get a little spritz, let it set, and then you put your foundation on top of it, and it takes practice. In fact, makeup just takes practice. And for me, I started watching YouTube videos. I started with trans women at first because I wanted to get their perspective, but then I just started watching just regular women's makeup tutorials. And I watched them every day, and I made a list on my phone, and I would go buy these different things, and I bought a whole bunch of stuff before I even put it on. And then I just started experimenting. I started trying to figure it out. Like, you need a good foundation. The other stuff, you can buy cheaper stuff, but you need a good foundation. Okay, I have to scratch my nose. Don't look. I don't know why. My nose got really itchy during the video. Sorry. It probably sounded so weird. Anyways, okay. If you practice makeup for 3 months every day, then you will be good at it, right? I'm pretty good. Another thing is if you use red lipstick, if you get it right, or if you get it close, don't try to make it perfect because you'll just mess it up. So when it's good enough, leave it. One thing, or another thing you need to know is because you watch a tutorial and they're using certain colors and stuff, it doesn't mean it's going to look good on you. So your face has like, my face is naturally dark here. What else? Like it has, when I move my face, it has its own natural shadows. So what I know now is that I have to use my contouring and my eyeshadow and all these things to kind of mimic what my face already looks like and just accentuate it. I can't say that word, but try to make it look more pronounced, you know, pop, make it pop more. So for me, lighter mascaras, I mean not lighter mascaras, I use a brown mascara, but lighter eyeshadows, like light pinks and light purples, those look good on me. Dark browns, it just makes me look like I got beat up. But dark lipstick looks good on me. I love dark lipstick. I'm really not that great with lip liners or eyeliners, but I still use them sometimes. And if I follow my own rule, the more that I do it, eventually maybe I'll be good at it. So also, stop cutting your hair. Grow out your hair. I had a fade and I used to have cornrows. I might include a picture. I don't know. You can find pictures of me as a male on my Instagram. I have like one of those transformation videos, but this is my natural hair. Like I don't dye it. These are my natural highlights. You might be surprised when you start growing out your hair what it might look like. I love it. I love it so much. Okay, so practice makeup. Now, you can start doing this like before you come out, before you see doctors or anything. Like if you don't know if you want to transition, you can just start practicing makeup and see what you feel. Oh, this is a warning, okay? Years ago, I bought a bunch of women's clothes and makeup and I put it on and I traumatized myself because I looked so fucking crazy that I didn't transition again for like 10 years because I was like, oh, I will look nuts. That's because I just bought a bunch of stuff from Walmart and then I put it on and I thought I was going to be pretty, but I looked like a man wearing makeup and it scared me. So don't allow yourself to be traumatized. Understand it's going to take time. Like, you're not just going to get it perfect. You're going to be embarrassed sometimes. I've been embarrassed a lot. And that brings me to shopping in public. So when you go to buy makeup or you go to buy clothes, you're going to think that everybody else believes that you're a pervert or a lunatic. And nobody thinks that. They just think that you're a man buying makeup or a man buying women's clothes. After you start wearing makeup and wearing women's clothes, then they might just think that you're a trans woman, right? Or maybe you might pass and they'll just think, oh, that's a woman. And they won't think nothing at all. Nobody cares. I mean, there might be somebody there that cares, but so I started shopping first I started trying to buy stuff online, but I was wasting too much money because you don't know what fits. You have to figure out sizes. And okay, this is a pro tip. A medium in one brand is like a large in another brand or a small in another brand. It's not uniform. You can't even go by sizes. Sizes don't mean, I mean, maybe they mean things, but like sometimes a large will be like this big, and then sometimes a large will be this big. So it doesn't make any sense. I basically can't order stuff online unless I've already ordered stuff from that company and I know that it fits. So another thing is too is trans women have, they call it the inverted triangle. Like some women have the apple bottom, or they have the hourglass or the pear if they're a little bit bigger. Trans women have the inverted triangle. That means our top is bigger than our bottom, at least in the beginning. So you have to try to experiment and find clothes that work for you. So I first started trying to go into Goodwill, and I was still scared walking around Goodwill. It was so stupid. Like, I thought everybody like, oh, look at this guy buying women's clothes at Goodwill. Nobody cares, right? I would go to Walmart at like 6 a.m. trying to like get there before anybody else could spot me. Like, not spot me, but like I was just embarrassed. So I had to learn real quick that if I'm going to do this, if I'm going to grow old as a woman, I have to push forward. I have to stop caring what other people think, right? I like this guy, David Goggins, and he actually I think he's pretty LGBT positive, actually. But he says, if you care what people think about you, you'll be the biggest bitch in the world. And I kind of live by that. Like, I mean, I do care, but I push through it. And every time I do, it always gets better. So I go to Walmart, and I found this sort of dress. That's my microphone. It's not my bra. And it's called No Boundaries. It looks pretty good on me. I bought like every version. And every few months they come out with some new ones. I always buy those. And I got a pretty good idea of my size. So a friend of mine also gave me some clothes. And they're like kind of like if you're gonna go play racquetball or something, but they look real good. They're like these skirts and these shirts where you can see your arms, and I have big arms, so I was always kind of like self-conscious about that. But I look really good in them. So now I'm like, okay, I look good in dresses, I look good in these. Skinny jeans, no, don't. I can't do skinny jeans. It don't work. In fact, I can't really do any jeans except for maybe mom's jeans. I had one pair of jeans that worked good for me, and I messed them up doing construction work. Okay, so shopping. You have to figure out what looks good on you. You have to stop being scared to shop in public, and you have to just keep pushing forward, not give up. And I mean, if you have money, or if you're good at sending stuff back, buy stuff online. If you're not out, if you're too scared to go out, you can experiment in your own house. I'm not telling you what to do, but if you're really transitioning and you're going to live your life as a woman, you need to go shopping. And you need to go shopping a lot. So put in some earbuds and just fucking forget about everybody else, you know? That's another thing. Getting my nails done was everything to me. Okay, here's my ugly finger. I love my trans women's hands. Two of my favorite trans women are Samantha Lux and Kat Black, and they have the prettiest hands, and I used to hate my hands so much, and now that I love them, so I was so sad that my fingernail fell off. I was so sad. And it's just not my Gel X, these are Gel X. My whole nail fell off. So it's gonna take I gotta stop cursing. It's gonna take 3 months before I can get a new nail put on. I'm so sad about it. Whatever. Okay. So, shopping, makeup, insurance, doctor, HRT. We got all that covered. What's next? Coming out. Coming out is hard. I came out like 100 times. So coming out is step 5, and then step 6 is social media. For me, they're kind of mixed. So I created a social media where I could express myself, and I started making, I'm trying not to say so and so much. I started making face app pictures. It's where you put a picture of yourself and you change the gender and it just transforms. And it gave me a lot of self-confidence because I fell in love with the way I looked, right? And I started posting these pictures on this Instagram account, which I thought was private. But then my ex-wife and this guy I used to know, friend, they found it and they started outing me. And so I just owned it. And that's another thing that this inspirational speaker says. He says, figure out who you are and own that person. So I was like, okay, no, this is me. I'm changing my name to Jessica. I am trans. This is real. So instead of this Instagram being a private account, I just started putting videos and pictures out every day. And now I have like almost 9,000 followers. I have another 4,000 on TikTok. So I love it. I get a lot. So it's a mixed bag. In the beginning, I used to get a lot of attacks from crazy people online. And I thought maybe that was the world. And maybe in some ways it is. But I actually get a lot of support and a lot of positive energy from social media. So I'm not saying for you to do it, but for me, it's been a positive experience and I love it. Now, so that allowed me to come out in a way where a lot of people knew. But then I started messaging people directly and letting them know, oh, hey, this is me. This is what I'm doing. Some people were surprised. Some people weren't. And then I also have clients. So I started coming out to clients. I also have a part-time job. I met with my supervisors. And it's been scary, but I'm like a pro at it now. Every single time you do it, it gets easier. And what I've discovered is most people are just fine. A lot of people, even conservatives and stuff, they don't even know what it is. They're like, trans? What is that? And I'm like, well, and then sometimes I have to explain to them that, oh, well, biological sex is separate from gender identity. And then, the fact that intersex people exist, like that's proof that biological sex itself is non-binary. But I try not to get technical. I just say that I'm transitioning male to female, and I've wanted to do it for a long time, and it makes me happy. And I just kind of leave it at that. And ironically, and that's not ironic, but I get a few statements immediately. The first one is, so does that mean you're getting it cut off? And I'm like, yeah, probably, but I can't afford it right now. And plus it takes a lot of time. Like you have to take a year off from work or at least 6 months, and it's scary. So I don't know. I don't want to talk to you about this. like why would you ask me about that? But it's the most common thing I get asked, actually. All right. So, oh my God, I just messed up. So, you're going to have to come out if you're going to be openly trans. Now, if you're able to pass, then you could live your life stealth. But that means that you have to go find a new place where nobody knows you. I can pass. I do pass all the time. But I'm going to be openly trans, at least for a long time, because I feel that there's so many people are being harassed or bullied or scared, and just because I can pass, I don't know. It's just me. It's my decision. I want to be openly trans, and like just living my life is a form of activism, because I know a lot of conservatives. I know a lot of Christians. I mean, I'm not conservative or Christian, but I'm like the only trans person they know. So they see these depictions of trans people online, and I'm not saying there's anything wrong with those people. That's not what I'm saying. But they have a false impression. There's 2 million trans people, about 1 million trans women in the United States. Most of them are non-political, or they're not political activists, And they're just trying to live their lives. In many cases, not being noticed is their goal, you know? So, anyways, that's other content. This video is just trying to help you understand how I transitioned. Now, I can't talk to you about voice because this is my regular voice. I just stopped trying to talk like a man, and this is what I sound like. Now, I understand that people do voice coaching. Sometimes you can hire somebody or you can find tutorials and just practice. I don't know how to do it, but there is a lot of help out there for voice if that's one of your things. I know a lot of trans people, well, not a lot, but I know enough trans people in my community that their voice is feminine enough that they don't have to do voice. In fact, I know like 4 or 5 trans women, none of them had to do voice training. But some trans women definitely do. They definitely do. And let me see. So social media, I kind of already talked about it. For me, it's a great experience. I would stay off Reddit. Reddit can be really bad. And then also on Facebook, I get attacked relentlessly with the most terrible comments I've ever heard. Like, it's unbelievable. People will say terrible things to me. So being trans for me means I have to have thick skin. If you're very sensitive and you can't handle those sort of things, then beware. I don't want you to go online and I don't want you to get traumatized. For me, it's worth it because I get so much utility. I meet so many people and I love it, but I'm trying to be an influencer. So like, I'm 44, almost 45, trans, and I'm trying to be an influencer. I hope you subscribed and also liked and also left a comment, please. Let me see if there's anything else I missed. Okay. Keep pushing forward. If you've made this decision, just keep pushing forward. I know it's tough right now with the current political climate. I think eventually things will swing back and get better. But even if they don't, for me, it's worth it. It's worth it to be trans. I've never been as happy as I am now. I'm happy going to the grocery. I'm happier with my kids. I'm happier, just everything. My life felt like a dead end. Like it was over. Like I wasted it. Now I feel like it's brand new, and I love the way I look, and I love the way I feel, and I'm able to be who I really am, a sweet, compassionate person. Also, and this is a little off topic, but if you're going to date men and have sex, which I do, I don't have a lot. I wish I had more actually. There's this stuff called PrEP, and I get a shot. I just had 2 shots like every 2 months, and now I'm almost completely immune to HIV. There's also a pill that goes with it. So if you have an encounter that might be weird or like you think it's kind of risky, you can take this pill and it will kill everything else. So go get tested, make sure that you're clean, and then get PrEP. And I forget what the name of the pill is, but if you talk to your doctor about PrEP, they'll tell you about the pill too. So with the shot and the pill, it makes you like 100%. Like, I mean, it's not 100%, it's like 99% chance, but like, just protect yourself. We're living in a world now where you can have a lot of fun and you can do it safely. Like and subscribe. I love you. Bye.